Well, hello everyone. Thanks very much for attending this webinar today about, as Luciana said, about postgraduate scholarships. So we'll be focusing on scholarships available to international students, that's both EU and non-EU students, that are available for September 2018 entry. So the first thing I just wanted to highlight to you is where you can find all the information about these scholarships at a later date. Okay, and the university website, like all university websites, is a very very big beast with lots and lots of content. So sometimes it can be tricky to find exactly what you're looking for. But in the case of scholarship information, it really couldn't be easier. Okay, so you're on the main Bournemouth University page, straight from Google. All you really need to do is just add scholarships to the URL, okay, and it would take you to our scholarships page. And from here you can look, if you wanted to, at undergraduate scholarships, or as we're going to today, at all the postgraduate scholarships available. So I think we will start with scholarships available to EU students, because unfortunately for you EU students, there's not quite as many that are available. A lot of the information I'll be giving is common to both EU and non-EU scholarships. So stay tuned, all you non-EU students out there. Okay, so we'll go for scholarships for EU postgraduate students. I think it's important to say, you know, that all universities do run their own scholarship schemes, but certainly in my experience in the sector, the offering of Bournemouth University, so our scholarship provision for students, is particularly generous. Okay, so there's quite a few different awards we're going to look at today. So on we go. So the first one to look at is quite unique. Okay, the rest of the scholarships that we'll look at today, you need to apply for. So you will have to fill out an application form for the scholarship. This one, and there is an equivalent for non-EU students, is automatically assessed. So the university will do all the work on this one for you. Once you've put in an application for a course, you know, we will assess whether you're eligible for this scholarship, and that is the academic scholarship. Okay, so here we have a table of all the different awards available, and we can click on each one just for a bit more information. So the academic scholarship for courses starting in September 2018, any EU student applying for a full-time course, a full-time postgraduate course here at Bournemouth University is eligible. You'll be assessed based on your bachelor degree or equivalent, you know, bachelor degree grades, and if you hit the benchmark, the certain grade point that the university is looking for, you'll automatically be given this scholarship, which is worth £2,000 fee reduction. Okay, we don't have a cap on the number of awards that are available, so every student who's eligible, you know, will get this award. Okay, so I imagine your question will be, or your questions will be, how do I know if I'm eligible, if my grades from my bachelor degree are good enough to be given this scholarship? So we have a handy table available here where you can check the minimum grade that's required from your country's education system. Okay, so we'll have a quick look at that just so you can see. So for example, if you're from Austria and you have a bachelor degree with 2.5 over 5 or less, thanks Austria for confusing us with your grading system, then you'll get this this scholarship. Similarly, you know, if you're following the French system, you've done a licence or higher and you have 14 points or better, you know, you will get that scholarship, and so on and so on. And you know, we can always come back you can always come back to look at this table in your own time. You see every EU country there. Okay, so that's the easy one. You don't need to do anything for that one, and you'll get a nice fee discount, which is great. Then the rest of the scholarships we're going to look at today, as I said, you know, you will need to actively make an application. okay? And in nearly all cases, the deadline for that scholarship application is the end of May, okay? 31st of May. So you still have plenty of time. So we have 4 scholarships here, academic scholarships available for EU students. So basically this is 1 per faculty. So we have a Dean's Scholarship for our 4 faculties. So Faculty of Management, Faculty of Health and Social Care, Faculty of Media and Communications, and actually Faculty of Management are being generous. They're giving us another scholarship specifically for the MBA. But let's just take a look at one of these. So Faculty of Management Executive Dean Scholarship. So really this is for any master's course being delivered in the Faculty of Management, any full-time master's course. It's a 50% tuition fee reduction that this scholarship is worth. There's 7 of them available for UK and EU master's students within the faculty. Do we need to fill in an application? Well, yes, you do, okay? And that's before the 31st of May. And the application for these scholarships, the link is on the specific scholarship page. So as you see here, apply for scholarship. And we'll have a quick look at that process a bit later, okay? So we just want to give you all the available scholarships first. So Faculty of Management, Executive Dean Scholarship. So that's for business masters, finance masters, etc. Okay, and is worth 50%. The same thing is available for any EU student starting a master's degree in the Faculty of Health and Social Sciences this September. It's exactly the same, so it's worth 50%. You apply for it here, and you apply for it before the end of May. And for this one, there are 3 scholarships available. Faculty of Media and Communication. Again, applications must be made by the end of May. There's 4 50% tuition fee reductions available within that faculty. And I'm sure you get the message, but the same for the MBA scholarship. So there's 5 of these. Again, worth half of your tuition fee, and 5 of these just for the MBA course. Okay, so you know if you already applied for the MBA, or you're thinking of applying for the MBA here at Bournemouth, then you should apply for this scholarship, because your chances are fairly good of getting that 50% tuition fee reduction. So I suppose this begs the question, really, how is your application assessed? You know, how would A, who would get these scholarships, and B, how will we let you know, and in what time frame? So basically, all of our academic scholarships really are judged on academic merit mostly. Okay, we don't have scholarships that are available or assigned by need. All right, so your financial situation, unfortunately, it doesn't come into play when we're deciding who gets these scholarships. So they will be judged on your academic kind of profile, so your grades in your bachelor degree and in your previous education. Also would look at any relevant work experience, would definitely add to your application. And then finally, and really importantly, we will look at the statement that you write in support of your scholarship application. So I think what I'll do is just run through the awards that are available for non-EU students as well. And then after that, we'll look at the application process, what you need to fill in, and maybe give you some tips on how to make your application stand out. Okay, so if we go back to this screen, and instead of looking at the scholarships for UK EU students, we'll look at international or non-EU students. And there are a few more available here. So the first one, if you remember the £2,000 award available for EU students, the automatically assessed scholarship, this is the equivalent for any non-EU students out there. So it is worth a bit more. It's worth a £3,500 reduction. But you know, before the EU students start to send abuse over the internet, you know, you should realize that non-EU students pay a higher fee for their tuition, so therefore the award is worth slightly more. So again, you don't need to put any application in for this one. Once we receive your application for any of our full-time postgraduate courses, we will assess it. So we would look at your previous results, so again from your bachelor degree, and if you hit that magic grade, you'll automatically be given £3,500 off. Again, there's an equivalencies table here. Now we've got as many countries as we can in here, but I'm not going to pretend it's every country in the world. But don't worry, if your country isn't on this list, you will still be assessed for your eligibility for this scholarship. But most countries that we get applications from are represented on this list. So for example, if you're an Indian student and you have 60% plus in your bachelor degree, you would get that award. And let's just have a look at one more. So Omani student, you'd be looking for a cumulative GPA of 3.15 over 4 or better, and then you would be given that scholarship. Okay. So again, these are unlimited. So you don't have to worry that the money's going to run out. You know, if you're eligible, you will get that scholarship. And there's no deadline for this one, okay? So even if you made a very late application to start in September, if you were eligible, we'd still award this scholarship. And now you'll see it's a longer list, okay, for the non-EU students. So if we leave these non-academic scholarships for now, I will come back to them. And we'll just have a look at the academic scholarships that are available. You'll see it follows a similar trend to the EU students. So each faculty will offer various number of 50% awards, okay? So Faculty of Management have 15 scholarships available, 50% scholarships for courses starting in September 2018 and January 19, okay? And that's across their whole portfolio. Okay, and I should have said this before, but I'm glad I've seen it now. It's important to stress that each student, despite eligibility, can only be awarded one scholarship, okay? So you put in your application for the course, we decide or we see that you're eligible for the automatic scholarship of £3,500 reduction. If you apply for one of these 50% scholarships and you're successful with that application, you wouldn't get that plus the automatic scholarship. You would just get the higher value scholarship, okay? So 15 for the Faculty of Management. Then let's have a look at the MBA. There's 5 50% awards available for non-EU students who are going to study the MBA. Faculty of Science and Technology. Again, 5 awards worth 50% of the tuition fee available. Now, I'm preempting some questions here, but I imagine some people will be kind of thinking, well, which one do I apply for? Okay, so on your offer, if you have an offer from Bournemouth University, you will clearly see which faculty the course you're applying for sits in. So for example, a computing master's would sit within the Faculty of Science and Technology, but any confusion over which scholarship you should be applying for, consult your offer letter, have a look at the university's website. You'll be able to find which faculty, and failing that, you can always contact us, okay? And I'll give out all the contact details at the end of this presentation. Okay, so Faculty of Media and Communication. So this covers lots and lots of courses. So our animation courses, film production, also things like advertising, some marketing masters as well. So any student applying for or doing a master's in any of those courses starting in September can apply for this one, 50% fee reduction, and there are 4 awards available for non-EU students. Faculty of Health and Social Sciences. 3 scholarships available for non-EU students, and again, that's a 50% reduction. Now, it doesn't seem very many, 3 awards, but we only have 1, 2, 3, 4 postgraduate full-time taught courses that this award is applicable to. So don't let that put you off, okay? There's an extra one here. So this is the MSc Public Health Scholarship. So I'm sure we'll have some people attending this presentation who've applied for the Masters in Public Health. Well, this is one that you don't need to apply for, actually. So basically, any applicant from outside of the EU that gets offered a place on this course for September 2018, we will be giving you a 25% fee reduction. So congratulations. Okay. Now, that really covers all of the internal, so Bournemouth University's own scholarships that we're offering for September 2018. So there are a few more listed here, which I'll talk to you about, but they're externally funded scholarships offered by various, government bodies, and so the application procedures, the deadlines are slightly different. So important to listen in on these ones. Okay, so the Great Scholarship, so this is only for Chinese students applying to Bournemouth University for a September 2018 start. So there's one award worth £7,000 and then 3 worth £5,000. The deadline for this one's pretty tight, but you still have time. So applications need to be in by the 26th of February. Okay. Now, the application, again, is made here through this form. And this scholarship is offered in partnership with the British Council China. Okay. So the only real difference in the procedure for this one is the timing. And you really need to get your application in very soon. So by the 26th of February. Okay. Now, the Cheapening Scholarships, which I'm sure lots of you out there have heard of, very prestigious scholarship offered through the Foreign Commonwealth Office, so that the British government basically. But unfortunately, the deadline for these applications for these has now passed for September 2018 entry. So I'm not going to talk in great detail about these. The applications for these are made on the Cheapening website. Okay, they're Bournemouth University can accept students from Cheapening scholarships, but so can any university. Okay, so if you're thinking of maybe September 2019, then Cheapening is something you should look at, but I would look on the Cheapening website because there's a lot of information on those scholarships. Okay. And the bottom two here, very specific. So they're for students that have studied at particular partner institutions. So if anyone out there watching the presentation today has studied at the Financial University in Russia or Beijing Normal University in Zhuhai campus in China, you are eligible automatically for a fee reduction from us because you study at one of our partner institutions. So again, congratulations. Yes, so let's have a look at the competitive scholarships, those ones you need to apply for, at kind of how you apply. All right, so we'll take one at random. So the Faculty of Management, 50% scholarship. You've clicked on it, you've had a look through, you think, yep, I'm eligible for this. I'm doing a full-time course in this faculty. I have a good bachelor degree grade, and you want to apply for it. So you basically, and it's before the 31st of May. So, you've met the deadline. So you click apply for scholarship and it takes you to an application form. Okay. Some guidelines here. One thing, that I would stress is sometimes when we're completing forms, it can be tempting to rush through Obviously, this is a very important form, and it's the only opportunity you'll get to state your case of really why you're deserving of one of these scholarships. Okay, so take your time, maybe draft something before you sit down and start completing the form. And what we don't want to see on these applications are kind of hobbies, you know, like a CV. What we want to see is how getting this scholarship would make a difference to you, you know, both professionally, educationally. So what your plans are going forward in your career, and also really how studying the course would be of benefit, not just to you, but to a wider kind of group of people or wider community. So will it somehow be able to impact on, you know, your family, on your local community, on your country, or on the world somehow, you know, and that kind of impact that giving you this scholarship will have is definitely something that we really look for in those scholarship applications. Okay, that said, you know, still kind of the first thing we'll look at is your academic profile. So, you know, you could have all sorts of plans and be able to evidence the positive impact that having this scholarship will bring, but you know, if you have awful academic profile, the chances are you wouldn't be given a scholarship. Okay, so yeah, you've clicked through, read the guidelines, take your time, and then start your application. And you'll see here you can choose. Okay, first of all, sorry, you fill in your details, and then on the drop down you choose the scholarship you want to apply for. Okay, this is an important thing. So that there might be more than one scholarship that you want to apply for. Well, just choose one of them, because if you're unsuccessful, let's say you apply for the Dean's Scholarship, Faculty of Management. Okay, if you aren't given that one, but there is another one you're eligible for, we would automatically consider you for that one. So you don't need to put in multiple applications for the scholarships. Okay, put in one application, choose one of the scholarships that you want to apply for, and then we would consider you then for any of those that you are eligible for. Okay, so you can see really we're asking for your personal details, your academic kind of history, and then your personal statement. And really this is the chance for you to sell yourself. Okay, what was I going to say? I was going to say that you might think it seems unnecessary to kind of fill in all this information about your previous qualifications, because if you've already applied to Bournemouth University, you think, well, you know, you already have that information. The reason we're asking for it again here is there is no, you don't have to have applied for the Bournemouth University course before you apply for these scholarships. Okay, so we do need to give everyone the same opportunity. So yes, if you've already applied for your program, there is a bit of duplication of effort, but you know, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do about that at this stage. Okay, so you fill in this personal statement and then you submit the application. So you've done all that before the end of May. When will you hear whether you're successful? Well, we have to wait until all scholarship applications are in. So we'll wait until that 31st of May deadline. Then we'll start looking at all the applications and make our decision. And you should hear whether you've been successful, I would say within 2 weeks of the application deadline. So really by mid-June. And then if you have to get a visa to come and, you know, study, live in the UK, it still leaves you plenty of time to do that. So you'll hear kind of by mid-June whether you've been successful. So I think in terms of talking you through what's out there and what you need to do, that's kind of that all finished now. And if you do have any questions, you know, please email them to us. Okay, so please email them to the international team, and the email address, nice easy one, it's just international@bournemouth bournemouth.ac.uk. So that's international@bournemouth.ac.uk for any questions about these scholarships. Yeah, I'd just like to thank you all for attending today and hope that's been useful for you. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.